Welcome to another edition of the Gridiron Report. I'm Jerry Johnson, and in this edition I am recapping Texas Tech's training camp, the 2023 edition, year 2 under Joey McGuire. And I think one of the things that really stands out to me is that, and this may sound really basic, but everybody really seemed to know what they were doing. There's a lot of continuity with the coaching staff. The only change of the major full-time staff is Juice Johnson, that wide receiver coach, and he appears to be a dang good coach. I know he's a good recruiter, and having been out there at a lot of the practices, he's been pretty impressive with some of the work he's done with the receivers. Even the veteran guys returning, really like in terms of route running and everybody knowing where they're supposed to be, what they're supposed to be doing, and when they're supposed to be doing all those things. But you know, they bring back the coordinators, year 2 under Joey McGuire, so that is really good. It also helps that they bring back a veteran squad, 16 starters from last year, 18 actually from the big win over Ole Miss in the Texas Bowl. So a lot of familiar faces and continuity, and that's a good thing. It really is. Texas Tech's one of the most veteran teams in all of college football. A lot of super seniors, a lot of 4, 5, 6-year players this year, and you know, it's really nice to see, because for so many years, especially on defense, but really just with the roster turnover, that Texas Tech was, you know, they were fielding a lot of young guys and new faces and all that against veteran squads in the Big 12. And I mean, the veteran squads, the older guys at this level in college, they're going to win out more times than not against the younger, inexperienced guys, even talented guys. So veteran squad, a lot of continuity. Those are 2 big standouts. Really injury-free fall camp. We didn't see a lot of the physicality, but McGuire stated many times it was a physical camp, that he believes in that. You got to hit. You got to get ready. Kind of a bruise shield, and if you've played football, you know what coach is talking about. When you got to get that kind of like overall bruise shield on your body to prepare for a long season, because you know, contact is a lot of what football's about. But despite that physicality, Coy Aiken, receiver, I believe he's a redshirt freshman receiver, and he was probably going to figure in the 2 deep, play a lot anyways. But he just came down wrong after making a catch and hurt his clavicle. Coach McGuire said, and I saw him in a sling. A lot of us in the media, when we were practicing, saw his arm in a sling. But he's supposed to come back, I don't know, he said maybe for the West Virginia game. We'll have to see about that. I hate to see his development stunted, because he looked really good when I saw him in the spring, and he looked good at the start of fall camp. But Coy Aiken's still young, and hopefully you know, he gets back. You know, he's on track and he gets back when he's expected to. You know, with all that continuity, and I wrote about this, 10 fresh faces or 10 newcomers that need to stand up for Texas Tech. There are some newcomers in some key spots. I'm going to talk about the offensive line in a minute, so I'm going to go over in defense, the newcomers. And there's some good ones. Steve Linton is expected to be perhaps the sack leader. Miles Cole might have something to say about that on the other side of the formation, but Steve Linton comes over from Syracuse. He's had 4.5 sacks in his career, but the word is expect double digits. He did actually kind of hurt his thumb and his hand was in a cast, but that didn't affect him in the last scrimmage where he got 4 sacks. So, you know, big things expected from Steve Linton, and one of the newcomers on defense. Another one, C.J. Baskerville is going to be playing that hybrid star position. It's outside linebacker, safety position. He'll play some nickel corner too in situations. So, you know, he was one of the standouts, probably the MVP of the spring game. He's had a really good camp as well. So these newcomers look really good. And then one of the main news items and storylines, and I've talked about this in some other videos and stories on Inside the Red Raiders, but Braylon Lux, a defensive back transfer from Fresno State, who had a good career at Fresno State. He's really been making a lot of plays. Texas Tech released their depth chart Sunday evening, and he was listed with Malik Dunlap as an or. But Coach McGuire said on Monday during his press conference preparing for Wyoming that really it's Rashad Williams, Malik Dunlap, and Braylon Lux. They like all 3 of them. It doesn't matter who's out there when, because all 3 are good corners. So that's a big deal, because while, you know, everybody likes Dunlap and Williams, the returning starters at corners. Having another starter quality corner in Lux is a huge addition. That's a big pickup. Those are the main newcomers. Quincy Ledette's a reserve inside defensive lineman. He'll play a lot. But all those guys, really good things coming out about them from what I've seen of them, just myself being at camp in several of the practices, portions of several of the practices. They all look good. So really good additions on that side of the ball to fill the few holes they have from guys who graduated and went on to other things. Now, another major storyline from fall camp has been the improvement of the offensive line. Many of the coaches talked about it. Many of the players talked about it. Rusty Stats is a newcomer, transferred in from Western Kentucky at center. He seems to have really solidified things. His former teammate at Western Kentucky, Cole Spencer, also at left guard. He actually transferred in prior to last year, but was hurt, had to redshirt medically, and so he has this final year of eligibility to play, like I said, alongside his friend and former teammate at Western Kentucky. And then, Dennis Wilburn, who started every game at center, has moved over to right guard. By all accounts, including Dennis, told us in one of these videos that, that guard is his more natural position. So that's good. Caleb Rogers and Monroe Mills, who started many of the games at tackle last year, flip sides. And I mean, everybody's just gone on and on about how good both of them look. From McGuire to Stephen Haley, the offensive line coach, Zach Kelly, the offensive coordinator, Tyler Shuck. A lot of people have just commented on how good those guys have been since switching sides. So we'll have to see how they do. They're going to get a test in Wyoming. Wyoming has a good defensive line. Everybody says that's the strength of their team. It's considered one of the top 20-25 defensive lines in Division I football. So, and they're going to be at home. So it's not like Tech's just going to get a free ride or a easy layup in week one in terms of the offensive line. So we may learn some things about really how much better it is this offensive line, but it is a long season, so it'll be interesting to see how they perform. I'm excited. There's going to be I'm going to have a lot of preview content in this game week leading up to kickoff Saturday, and including the Rock and pregame will be on the radio on Rock 101.1 FM. You could just Google that and listen to it live 2 hours before kickoff. Excited to be back on the air. We had our first show last week of the season, our 8th year of doing the Rock and pregame, and it's a lot of fun. I'm ready for the game. I'm ready to have some new true data on this team. But those were my main takeaways. And overall, really good training camp. So much confidence surrounding this program right now, and I think it's going to be a crazy, fun ride this 2023 season. But for now, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.